What's good, sports fans? Are you ready to elevate your live entertainment experience? Well, let me introduce you to SeatGeek, an amazing platform that connects you to your favorite events while saving you money. With SeatGeek, you can easily find tickets for sports games, concerts, and so much more, all in one place. The interface is user-friendly, making it simple to browse and compare prices. And one of the best features is the interactive seating chart. You can see exactly where you'll be sitting and how much you'll be spending, ensuring you get the best value for your money. But here's the best part. Check this out. By using my promo code, ChalkItUpSports, you can enjoy a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. That's right, $20 off your first SeatGeek order. Imagine catching that thrilling game or concert without breaking the bank. It's a win-win situation. Plus, you'll be a part of a community of fans who eat, sleep, and breathe live events just as much as you do. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description to download the SeatGeek app today. And don't forget to use my promo code ChalkItUpSports for a one-time $20 discount on your first SeatGeek order. Get excited. Now let's get back to the show. What's good? This is your boy, Tone DeShields II. You guys are tuned in into a Philadelphia Eagles edition of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Couldn't be more grateful to be here with you beautiful people. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the show, especially if you are new. I want to give a shout out to all my listeners, not only on YouTube, but I want to give a shout out to my viewers and listeners on Twitch, my viewers and listeners on Facebook, my viewers and listeners on Spotify and Apple Podcast, right? I really do appreciate you guys for locking in on the content the way you guys have. I also want to give a shout out to my compadres, my peers. I want to give a shout out to people I work with on a weekly basis. I want to give a shout out to my man, Coach Marcus Thomas, from Pro Fan Talk. Make sure you guys go subscribe to him. And I also want to give a shout out to Lord Brunson and Simone Stanley. You guys know them very well. They need no introduction. Make sure you guys go subscribe to their content. Go support them as well. They're doing amazing work. 7-2. Number one in the NFC East. And it's been a long time coming. This wasn't just something that we fell into, Philadelphia Eagles fans. This 7-2 record, this top spot in the division, it's not something we just accidentally found ourselves in. The Philadelphia Eagles were doubted coming in. They were doubted throughout. And ultimately, they exercised their demons, got back to the drawing board, and has elevated their team to new heights. The offense, the defense, the special teams, all three phases for the Philadelphia Eagles are playing at an elite level. Don't let anybody try to tell you differently. The numbers indicate it. The product on the field indicates it. The eye test indicates it. People can have their own opinions about quarterbacks, their own opinions about defenses. People can have their preferences. Let's say that. Let me not say opinions. Let me say preferences. People can have their preferences as to how they believe the quarterback position should be played, or how defense should be played, or how rookies should play, or how rookies look, or how coaches should coach, whatever it may be. People can have their preferences all across the board. But the reality is thus. At the end of the day, regardless of your preference, the multi-million-dollar question is, does your preference produce? You see, a lot of people look at Jayden Daniels and Jalen Hurts and they say, I see the talent, but that dual threat stuff, I don't know. But the reality is, this is where the league is going. And we're going to be in for a phenomenal game this Thursday. Eagles, Commanders, Thursday Night Football. This game, I believe, will put the winner in the driver's seat for the division, if I'm not mistaken. Because if the Eagles lose, that would put them to 7-3. If the Commanders win, that would put them at 8-3. If the Eagles lose, that put them at 8-2. The Commanders fall to 7-4. Now you have a full 2-game lead on them. But regardless, before we get too deep into the matchup, I want to get back to what I was talking about originally. People love criticizing the way the Eagles do business, the way we play football, the way we beat up on opponents. They find something. They find it. They find a thread. They find a scab. They nitpick at it. And if you ask me, I still believe the league doesn't really see us coming. We're 7-2. We lead our division. We're in contention for the number 1 seed. Let's make that very clear. We're in contention for it. Detroit is only 8-1, right? What's Detroit's record right now? Let me double check that. Let me check the NFL standings. As of right now, Detroit is 8-1. The Eagles are 7-2. Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are the number 2 seed in the NFL. The number 2 seed right now in the NFL, the Philadelphia Eagles. Detroit, don't slip. The Commanders right now are the 6th seed. Both of these teams, in my humble opinion, are legitimate. And they will ruin someone's day if you get them in the playoffs. I love what the Commanders have done to rebuild their organization, to rebuild their roster, to rebuild their quarterback position, their coaching staff. I love what the Commanders have done. They are on the fast track to becoming a relevant franchise again. But here's my problem with the Commanders. Here's my problem with Commanders fans. Be patient. Appreciate what you have. Roll with it. And just enjoy the ride. Because you still have a lot to do. You still have a lot to accomplish. You still got a lot of ground to make up before we start having a conversation. And I mean Eagle to Commander. I like what they're doing. And they're going to be an annoyance in the division. But I'm not ready to crown Jayden Daniels yet like everybody else is. I like the brother. He's playing well. I like him. I like him a lot, actually. But I'm not ready to crown the brother. You want to know why I'm not ready to crown the brother? Because at the end of the day, we've seen this before. We've seen somebody come into the league a la C.J. Stroud and set the world ablaze and get everybody excited. And in a way, kind of makes it hard for other rookies as well coming in because now teams have an unrealistic expectation. C.J. Stroud was an anomaly. Not many rookies come in right away and make that kind of impact. But then we get to year 2. C.J. Stroud is starting to look more compromised. He's starting to look more human. Coming back down to earth, right? But they don't talk about it like that, though. You know, obviously he's missing Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. Nico Collins will be back next week, I think. You know, their offensive line is mediocre, right? But they don't hold them accountable the way they should, right? They don't hold them accountable the way they should. That team was at home and you forced Detroit to 5 interceptions and you lose the game. You can't generate a single point in the second half. I'm looking at CJ Stroud like, what? If that was Jalen Hurts, you know what they're going to do? You know what they're going to say? Let's move on from CJ Stroud. Let's get to Jordan Love. Jordan Love's situation is a little more unique. He came in behind Aaron Rodgers. He's a former first-round pick. He didn't really get a chance to start until, let's make sure I got this right here. Jordan Love, Jordan Love didn't become the full-time starter until 2023, last season. And he set the world ablaze. Everyone's excited. Oh, this young player, 96 passer rating, 32 passing touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 64% completion percentage, 4,100 passing yards. You know, all those things that people were excited about. Oh, he's the second coming. I love me some Jordan Love. He's one of the best. He's one of the best. He earned that contract, being the highest paid guy in the league before Dak got paid. He earned that money. He's the future. He's the franchise. He's next up. He's the one the league has to look out for. See, Jordan Love has played 7 games. He's completing 61% of his passes, which is below league average. He has 15 passing touchdowns, not bad. But he has 10 interceptions through 7 games, where he had 11 through 17 games last year. Do you see where I'm going with this? His passer rating last year was a 96.1 by the end of the season. As of right now, it's an 88.2. Not a drastic difference, but a difference. And he's been in and out of the lineup with injury. Ankle, knee, hip, whatever it is. He's been in and out of the lineup with injury. And thank God Malik Willis has been able to keep them above water. And Josh Jacobs. Let's get to Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a fascinating case study because he's a veteran. But here's what's fascinating about Jared Goff as it pertains to the Lions and how they use him. Did you guys know the Detroit Lions are ranked 28th in the league in pass attempts? 27 a game. The Eagles are ranked 32nd in the league with 26 per game. Over the past 3 games, Jared Goff is averaging 23 pass attempts a game over the past 3 games. Jalen Hurts, 22 pass attempts per game. Then when you get to the rushing attempts for both of those teams, you look at the Eagles, they lead the league in rush attempts, 36 a game. You look at Detroit, they're ranked 5th in the league with 31 a game. So what I'm trying to say is, as it pertains to Love and Stroud, be careful crowning these brothers early. Be careful crowning these guys early because you will have a rude awakening. The way Jalen Hurts got crucified for having a little bit of a slump after the Super Bowl year. I told y'all at the beginning of the year, I said, Jordan Love, be careful. They will turn on you. Just wait. Don't have a bad season. CJ Stroud, I said this. Don't have a rough season. Don't have a rough sophomore year. They will turn on you. But you know what's fascinating, though? It doesn't matter, Infamous. It doesn't matter if somebody got hurt. It doesn't matter if somebody got hurt. You want to know why it don't matter? Because when A.J. Brown get hurt, when Devontae Smith get hurt, they don't move the goalpost for Jalen Hurts. So I don't give a damn if Nico Collins is hurt or Stephon Diggs is hurt or the offensive line got injuries. I don't care. He's the franchise. I don't care. I don't care not one bit, not one iota who he's missing. Because when it comes to Jalen Hurts, they don't give a fuck. They don't. And then bringing it back to Jared Goff, the point I'm trying to make with him is Jared Goff is supposedly an MVP candidate. I mean, granted, he did throw 5 interceptions in that game, but Jared Goff is having a good season overall. But you notice how when they talk about Jared Goff, they don't say, "Oh, they're taking the ball out of his hands. They're leaning on their running game." They don't talk about Jared Goff in that way. But when it comes to Jalen Hurts, you know what they say when they talk about how the Eagles are winning? They say A.J. Brown first. They say Devontae Smith first. They say that offensive line first. They say that defense first. They say Saquon Barkley first. That's what they say. They say they're taking the ball out of Hurts' hands. That's what they say. But we know what that really means. We know what they're really trying to say. And me personally, I've always preferred Jalen Hurts to live in that 20 to 27 attempt range. That's always been my preference. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I believe every team should have their own style and how they want to win, their own style of quarterback. I believe there's more than one way to play this quarterback position. Some people believe there's only one way. Some people believe that you got to be Peyton Manning to play in this league. Some people believe if you're not a seven-step drop back guy, then you don't belong in this league, or I can't consider you great. There are people who still look at Lamar Jackson as like, I mean, he's athletic, but all I'm trying to say is keep the same energy. So let's bring it back to Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels is doing amazing work with what he's been given. He's been given significantly less than Caleb Williams, and he's doing what he's doing. Rivalry aside, I love watching Jayden Daniels play. Rivalry aside, I love watching Jayden Daniels play. I love watching C.J. Stroud play. I love watching Jared Goff play. I love watching Jordan Love play. I like all these quarterbacks. And I appreciate all these quarterbacks for how they play the game. I respect a lot of these quarterbacks because I believe there's more than one way to play the position. I believe there's more than one way to win. You know what's so funny? And obviously, Jalen Hurts didn't start his rookie year. He didn't start his rookie year at all. He probably came in for like the final 4 games, but he didn't start his rookie year. So I don't even talk about Jalen Hurts' rookie year. I really don't. If anything, his first year starting, to me, is his inaugural season, his rookie year. The 2021 season for Jalen Hurts, in my humble opinion, is his pseudo-rookie year because it was his first year starting. So, if we're operating under that premise the same way we used for Jordan Love, remember, Jordan Love didn't play his first 2 years like that. He didn't. He didn't become the starter until year 3 in the league, I think, if I'm not mistaken. He didn't become the starter until year 3. Yes. So back to Jalen Hurts. Since I'm not really looking at his rookie year as a real season because he didn't play. He didn't play at all. He only started 4 games and they tanked the last one. So let's get to the 2021 season. His first year. Was his stats gargantuan? Absolutely not. And you will not hear me try to imply that Jalen Hurts' stats from the 2021 season were spectacular. But in 2021, Jalen Hurts completed 61% of his passes, 3,100 passing yards, 780 rush yards, 16 passing, and 10 rushing touchdowns. So 26 total touchdowns, 9 interceptions, with an 87.2 passer rating. So he wasn't spectacular, but he was maximizing his talent and his opportunities at the time, right? His first year starting. So then his second season, he ups the ante. He takes it to another level. You know what he does? The Eagles go get A.J. Brown. They invest more in the team. And not only does, and remind you, by the way, he made the playoffs his rookie year. I mean, his first year starting, made the playoffs. Now, they got smoked because they were completely outmatched. They got smoked his first year starting in the playoffs. But he made it to the playoffs. He made it to the playoffs. That's on the resume. He turned a 4-11-1 team to a 9-8 team and made the playoffs. First year starting. Not bad for a second-round pick. Not bad. But then his third year in the league, his second year starting, he takes the Eagles to the Super Bowl. Runner up for the MVP, second team All-Pro, Pro Bowler, Burt Bell Award winner. And then his third year starting, he has a little bit of a hiccup. His stats were similar, but had the turnover bug a little bit. If you look at Jalen Hurts' numbers, they're pretty much identical from 2022 to 2023. Except for the turnovers. That was the difference. And obviously, coaching took a step back and defense was awful. So there were a few things working against him. Regardless, it happened. It's on the resume. On the resume. But we get to Jordan Love's second year starting. Look what we're seeing. We get to C.J. Stroud's second year starting. Now, granted, the Texans lead their division. A weak division, but they lead it. They're 6-4. The Packers, if I got this correct, the Packers are what? Third in the NFC North? Now, granted, the NFC North is very competitive. But the Packers right now are third in the NFC North with a 6-3 record. So on the season, Jordan Love and those guys are 6-3. C.J. Stroud is 6-4 on the season, right? And quite frankly, I don't think they're having terrible seasons because shit happens. Injuries, shit happens. I don't think C.J. Stroud, nor do I think Jordan Love are having the worst seasons because the NFL is a roller coaster. It's a marathon. Anything can happen. Anything. But I guess my frustration comes in is when I see so much grace given to Jordan Love. I see so much grace given to a Brock Purdy for not having CMC, for not having Ayuk, for not having an offensive lineman, or I see so much grace being given to C.J. Stroud. I see so much grace given to a lot of these quarterbacks. But the one quarterback they don't like giving grace to is Jalen Hurts. And I'm not making this up. I study this shit too much. I study this too much to just be acting off emotion. Like, as simple as that. Crawley says this team will go as far as Saquon goes. Well, guess what? The Packers will go as far as Josh Jacobs goes. The Houston Texans will go as far as Nico Collins goes. The San Francisco 49ers will go as far as CMC goes. I can go on and on. I can go on and on. The Ravens will go as far as Derrick Henry goes. I can go on and on. I guess my problem is, why do we crucify certain quarterbacks for having a supporting cast where we don't keep the energy for other players? When a quarterback is missing his goal, and another thing too, right? People say that, damn. People say, damn. Why can't Lamar Jackson get to a Super Bowl? Why can't he win the AFC Championship? What's the disconnect? What is it? What is it? What is it? I think Derrick Henry has taken their offense to a new level. If anybody in this live stream thinks Derrick Henry has not helped Lamar Jackson take his game to another level, you are smoking crack. Derrick Henry just may give Lamar Jackson his back-to-back MVP award. And this is not me trying to take away from Lamar Jackson. I really hope this is not being misconstrued as that. I'm a Lamar Jackson fan. I love his game. He's playing phenomenal. I think Lamar Jackson will win the MVP. I think he will, especially if he keeps this up. But let's not pretend if Derrick Henry gets taken out of that lineup, that team ain't the same or is the same. Let's not pretend. Let's not pretend that if you take the best skilled position guy off of a team, that offense won't change. Let's not pretend if you're missing 2 offensive linemen, shit won't change. All I want is consistency and fairness. I'm not asking these guys to glaze Hurts. I'm asking for fairness. Is that too much to ask for? And you know what's so crazy? I didn't even plan on talking about this today. This is where my mind took me. I'm a fucking psycho. Maybe it's the Philly in me. I want beef with everybody. I think everybody out to get me. I think everybody hating on me. Maybe it's the Philly in me. I don't know. Maybe I'm unwell. But all I'm asking for is fairness. And Philly don't get that. We don't get that. We don't get that. Nah. So, bringing it full circle back to the Jalen Hurts, Jayden Daniels matchup this week on Thursday. Bringing it full circle. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a fun game. The veteran, the established veteran, versus the young rookie who's proven himself in the league. Right? And I'm going to get to your super chats, by the way. I got y'all. I'm going to get to your super chats. I'm going to get to all your super chats. I got y'all. Trust me. Thank you, Worf. I appreciate you. No Cut Sports Podcast. Thank you. I appreciate you. I promise you I'm going to get to your super chats. I promise. I appreciate all of you guys who are here as well, locked in. We got over 160 people tuned into the live stream. It means a lot to me, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Love Hurts says Hurts made AJ. I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying that. I want people to just acknowledge and accept and be okay saying one hand washes the other. We are all a product of our supporting cast. And that goes for business, that goes for family, that goes for real life relationships. We are a product of our experiences. We are a product of our supporting cast. We are a product of our peers. You know the old adage, guilty by association. You hang around assholes, people gonna think you're an asshole. But when you hang around winners, you start winning. I just want fairness. Fairness. Let me bring up these stats, man. Let me bring up these stats. Because look, as good as Jordan Love is, as good as Jayden Daniels is playing, and I think in the long term, he's going to be a really, really, really good quarterback in the long term. I really do. But Jayden Daniels, I'm going to tell you the same thing. I'm going to tell you, Jayden Daniels, the same thing I said to Jordan Love and I said to CJ Stroud. I'm going to tell you the same thing. Don't slip. Don't slip, young brother. Don't have a sophomore hiccup or a sophomore slump. Don't have a game or a stretch where you throw an interception in back-to-back games. Don't fumble in your own territory. Don't throw a red zone interception. Young brother, I'm telling you, play clean football. Because the moment you slip, they're going to crucify you. And they're going to question, are you the guy? They're going to question, did the Commanders make the right decision? They're going to question that. We see it all the time. We see it all the time. Fair weather analysis. Fair weather. It's ridiculous. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the show. It means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. And again, here's my last point on this angle. There are so many different types of quarterbacks in this league, and I love it. I love it. And I have so much respect for organizations who know who their quarterback is, they understand their personnel, and they're going to put the right coaches and the right players around their quarterback to maximize their quarterback's abilities. That's why I give the Eagles so much credit. I give the Detroit Lions so much credit. I give the Ravens so much credit. I give the Commanders so much credit. Everybody is not going to throw the ball 40 times a game. Everybody's not going to throw for 5,000 or 4,000 yards. Everybody is going to approach the quarterback position the best way they know how. And it's up to these organizations, to find the quarterback that they believe they can win with. And when you find the guy that you believe you can win with, you invest in that player and you invest in the roster. And you cater the offense and that roster to said player to maximize and optimize his abilities. So again, I say, are the Eagles trusting Jalen Hurts less? Or did they say to themselves, how can we get the best version of our quarterback? What can we do so our quarterback can play the best version of football that he can play? You know what? Jalen Hurts operates a lot better in a balanced offense. He operates a lot better when he's able to play off of his run game because he's a dual threat quarterback himself. It adds to his Rolodex. It adds to his skill set. Jalen Hurts doesn't have the strongest arm, doesn't throw the deepest ball. He's not the fastest guy like Lamar Jackson. He's not a bully like Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? He's Jalen Hurts. He plays his style. And Jalen Hurts, if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure I got this correct here. I don't want to shortchange the good brother. If I'm not mistaken, Jalen Hurts playing his style of football has led to a career 41-19 record. Kiss my ass. Because last time I checked, when it came to the NFL, when it came to this league, it's about wins, losses, and production. Jalen Hurts wins. He rarely loses. And he's productive. He's just not productive the way y'all want him to be productive. He just doesn't play the game the way some of y'all want him to play the game. But 41-19, don't lie. 41-19 on his career does not lie. You think the most talented guy or the guy with the biggest arm wins the big game every year? Hell no. Hell no. So again, the bottom line is thus. Jalen Hurts and Jayden Daniels are going to be in for a hell of a game this Thursday. And both those brothers, in my opinion, are playing some of the best football in their conference. Definitely playing the best football in their division. But people love discrediting Jalen Hurts for some reason. I don't know what they get off on. They get off on it somehow. Discrediting that brother. Even discrediting Nick Sirianni. And look, I'm not saying Nick Sirianni perfect. I'm not saying Nick Sirianni is X and O guru. I'm not saying none of that. But at the end of the day, we have 3.5 seasons worth of football, worth of film from Hurts and a Nick Sirianni-led team. We've seen so much football with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. And this is not really about Nick Sirianni. It's really not. We have 3.5 seasons worth of a sample size from Jalen Hurts as a starter. 3.5 seasons. And he gets discussed like this. He gets treated like this. He holds the ball too long. He can't read defenses. First of all, let's be honest about this. When you're like a playmaking quarterback, when you're like dual threat and you move around, you naturally hold the ball long. Naturally. It comes with the territory. Now, are there times where I say, damn, Jalen, let the ball go? Of course. He's not perfect. He's not perfect at all. And on top of that, I don't even believe Jalen Hurts is the most talented quarterback in the league. I don't even think Jalen Hurts is top 5 as far as talent. I don't think Jalen Hurts is top 5 in talent at all. I don't. Some of y'all might be like, what, Tone? What the hell? I don't think Jalen Hurts is top 5 talented at quarterback. I think Matthew Stafford is more talented than him from the quarterback position. I think Lamar Jackson's more talented than him. Mahomes, Josh Allen. You feel what I'm saying? I don't think Jalen Hurts is the most talented. But what I got so much respect for Jalen Hurts for is the fact that no matter what people have said about him, no matter what they believed about him, no matter what these scouts said about him, they said he couldn't win in this league. They said he couldn't play quarterback. They said that. 41-19, made it to a Super Bowl, all-pro, kiss my ass. Because he don't play the position the way you want him to play the position. Because he don't look like the way y'all want him to look. Last time I checked, that young brother's productive. And if he's producing at a top 10 or a top 5 level, what's stopping y'all from admitting that? Nobody talking about talent. We know the NFL is a what have you done for me lately kind of league, right? We know that. So what has Jalen Hurts done lately? What has he done for us lately? What has he done for football lately? Again, I'm not going to sit here and ever argue that, oh yeah, Jalen Hurts is more talented than this guy and that guy and that guy. I would never say that because I don't believe that. I love and respect Jalen Hurts the way I do because I know he's a grinder. He put the work in. He get it out the mud. He's not supposed to be here. And he's here. And some of y'all motherfuckers hate it. Some of y'all hate it because y'all had him changing his position when he came to the league. Some of y'all had him not being able to be a starter. Some of y'all had him like that. 41-19 career record as a starter. Won the conference. Had a number 1 seed. Made it to a Super Bowl. 2-time Pro Bowler. 2nd team All-Pro. Burt Bell Award winner. Has broken Eagles records. He plays the quarterback position the way he wants to play the quarterback position. I saw somebody put Jared Goff. I was on Bleacher Report, and I don't even know his brother's name. I don't know his dude's name. I don't know what this guy's name is, but whatever. He had Jared Goff as a top 10 quarterback right now. And I wouldn't argue that. I wouldn't argue against that. But I guess what I'm trying to figure out, what has Jared Goff done this season that Jalen Hurts has not, from a production perspective. I mean, I know he has thrown 5 interceptions. 5. But when you look at the raw numbers and what they're asking Jared Goff to do, and Jared Goff is not being asked to carry that team at all. That team is built on their offensive line and their run game. Just how the Eagles are built on their offensive line and their run game. You get it how you live. You get it out the mud. You do whatever it takes. You know, man, again, I believe there's way more than one way to play this position. And I think a lot of people who talk about Jalen Hurts, they're looking at it through the lens of the traditional quarterback. And I have a problem with that. I do. Because Jalen Hurts would never ever be on a fair playing field with a lot of these people. He never will. And I think I have to come to a conclusion or come to a point where I have to accept that. That no matter what he does, really, maybe if he wins a Super Bowl, but no matter what he does, people are going to still question, is it him? We haven't seen Jalen Hurts out of the lineup too much for the Philadelphia Eagles, but when we have, they've lost. You know, in 2022, I think Jalen Hurts missed 2 games in the regular season. Eagles lost both games. He missed 2 games in 2021. I believe the Eagles lost both of those games. No. We beat the Jets that one time. But I think the Eagles overall are 1-3 without Jalen Hurts. 1-3. Y'all still want to say, oh, it's just A.J. Brown? A.J. Brown couldn't save Gardner Minshew. Devontae Smith couldn't turn Gardner Minshew from a pumpkin into a prince. Dallas Goedert couldn't help him. I hate when people approach shit from this angle. Who are they without this person? Oh, Saquon is saving the Eagles. We signed him to do a fucking job, and he's doing the job. Instead of saying, wow, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles would be nowhere without Saquon Barkley, why don't you guys say, wow, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley are really playing well together. The Eagles made a smart decision signing Saquon Barkley. He's taking their offense to another level. Narratives, words. People are smart. They know what they're saying, and they know what point they're trying to get across. They know what they're really trying to say. Big Chris, I love you, but listen. No one is denying Saquon Barkley has taken the Eagles' offense to another level. No one is denying that. I'll say it again. No one is denying that. But when you continue to try to use it as a way to slight the quarterback or slight the team, it's idiotic. Because at the end of the day, they signed him to help their team. The Ravens signed Derrick Henry to take pressure off of Lamar Jackson. The Chiefs signed DeAndre Hopkins and Kareem Hunt because they're dealing with injuries and they're trying to take pressure off of their quarterback. The Houston Texans signed Stephon Diggs because they were trying to take pressure off of Stroud. They signed Mixon because they wanted to make sure their rookie came in with a running back. So all I'm trying to say is, when you sign people to your team, no shit, you wouldn't be where you are without them. That's why you signed them, because you knew you needed them. Make it make sense. Stop having these brain dead, lazy fucking arguments just to prove a fucking point. I'd rather somebody say, you know what? I don't like that guy. I never will like that guy. That's not my style. I can respect the game because you keep it in 100. You're keeping it 100. But what I don't respect is when people try to come up with these elaborate ways to discredit people. And it's not just Jalen Hurts, by the way. This isn't just a Jalen Hurts thing. This is my problem with sports talk. This is my problem with sports talk. Instead of just being honest, people find elaborate ways to discredit somebody. Oh, you know, who would he be without this guy? Or is it more A.J. Brown? Is it more A.J. not throwing himself the fucking ball? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like, what is it? What's the beef? Did Hurts fuck your bitch? What's going on? I'm talking crazy right now. Excuse my language. I'm talking crazy right now. Let me relax. Did did Hurts take your chick? Like, what happened? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Like, come on. When Hurts became the starter, he had one weapon. They drafted him. Devontae Smith. One. When Jalen Hurts became the starter, he had one target. And he was a rookie. A rookie. Jalen, see, you know what it is? This is what pisses me off about it too, right? People think Jalen Hurts just walked into this mansion filled with all this nice shit. People want to talk about Jalen Hurts like he wasn't here from the muscle. People want to talk about Jalen Hurts like he wasn't here during the bad times. They want to talk about him like that. Like he just walked into this perfect situation. He was just handed the keys. Hey, brother, here you go. Chris Scott, shut the fuck up. Chris, shut up. Shut up, bro. You like, come on, man. Like, really? Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. I read this wrong. My bad. I read this wrong. My bad. My bad, Chris. I apologize. I read this all the way wrong. He says, didn't Jalen go to the playoffs without AJ? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I read this all the way wrong. My bad. My bad, Chris. I love you. My bad. My bad. So yeah, Jalen Hurts, he's been here. He was here when they went 4-11-1. Jalen Hurts was on a 4-11-1 roster. 4-11-1. The first year he became a starter, he had one weapon. He had one legitimate weapon. And that was Devontae Smith. That year, the Eagles didn't have a single 1,000-yard receiver. And the Eagles made the playoffs. So you know what Howie Roseman does? He says, you know what? Okay, I like this quarterback, but I think he's going to need a little bit more help. I like Devontae, but I think we're going to need a little bit more help. You know what? Let's go trade for A.J. Brown. Why is that a slight against the quarterback? Somebody help me out. Somebody help me out. Somebody help me out and help me understand why people think Hurts was just walked into a bevy of riches. Sturdy just says something real true. Sturdy says, Tone, they want Jalen Hurts to have no wide receivers, no running backs, no line, and play with 0 sacks and 0 turnovers. Then they'll be amazed. Facts. Let me get to the super chats real quick. My man No Cut Sports Podcast says, talk that talk, Tone. He says, Eagles about to really put the league on notice Thursday. Keep it up, my boy. Thank you, No Cuts. I really do appreciate you. Let me get you a wrench, my guy. Let me get you your wrench. We got over 230 people on the live stream. Make sure you guys smash that like button. I really appreciate it. Let's go on the like spree, y'all. Something not adding up. We got over 200 people on the live stream. We only got 68 likes. Smash that like button. Smash that like button. And by the way, smash that like button. Give me a thumbs up, y'all. Give me a thumbs up. We got too many people in here, and the likes not matching up. The math not mathing. The math not mathing. Once again, shout out to my man, No Cut Sports Podcast with the super chat. War with the $4.99 super chat. He says, if this defense continues to play like this, we will be holding up that Lombardi. I'm not worried about the offense. I agree 100%. I'm with you on that. And I think the defense is getting better. I think they're going to get better. War back again with the $4.99. He says, Jalen is on pace to be the first 2020 player ever. I think that gets you the MVP. I don't even need an MVP, bro. I see what you're saying, though, but I don't even need an MVP. I don't even need that. And I think Jalen Hurts don't really care about it either. Jalen Hurts want the big one. He want that Super Bowl MVP. People talk about Lamar Jackson MVPs all the time, and I'm like, that's cool. That's exciting. That's fun. That's good for contract time. We need that same guy in the playoffs, though. We need that same guy. Anthony Chops Crowback, my guy, with the $9.99 super. He says the media penalizes Jalen for having talent, yet guys like Purdy, Lamar, CJ, etc. are glazing their game. Of course, having more talent makes you look good. They need to keep it 100 with Jalen. Simple as that. I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. You want your quarterback to do well, put good players around him. Like why is that a sin? Why is that a asterisk next to a quarterback's performance? Y'all want quarterbacks out here working too hard. Y'all want quarterbacks out here carrying teams. I'm like, for why? If I'm a GM and I'm good at my job, I would never, ever put my quarterback in a position where he got to carry everybody. I would make sure I would allocate resources so he has enough depth, enough weapons, so he can do his job. So he can enjoy coming to work. Why are we obsessed with quarterback suffering? Somebody help me out. Why are we obsessed with quarterback suffering? I'm not moving off that point. I need somebody to answer me. And thank you, Anthony, for your super chat, brother. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. Why are people obsessed with quarterback suffering? Tell me why. Oh, if he got too many weapons, then I don't know how good he is. What difference do it make? What difference do it make? Why? Can somebody help me? What is the obsession with quarterback suffering? Anthony says, they say Mahomes does it with no weapons, so everyone else got to do it. Yo, if that's the mindset, that's fucking insane. If that's the mindset, that's insane. If that's the mindset, that's insane. Anthony McCormick says, didn't Jalen Hurts recruit AJ? When Jalen Hurts was named the starter and we didn't have to draft a quarterback, didn't we draft Smitty? Jalen Hurts is playing good football is the reason why we're in a good spot. Exactly. Because at the end of the day, yo, people love saying A.J. Brown made Jalen Hurts, right? But didn't Caleb Williams arguably come into the best rookie situation we've ever seen? I can't, somebody help me out. My memory ain't the best. Have we ever seen a rookie quarterback come into the league and have the weapons that Caleb Williams has had? And he got somebody fired today. Have we ever seen a rookie quarterback come into the league with the weapons Caleb Williams had? Thank you, Infamous. Not as a first-round pick. So, I ask, even with those weapons, why aren't they winning? Why aren't they winning? Why are they not winning? Why are the Chicago Bears plummeting? They got weapons, right? They got weapons. They invested in the running back. They invested in the tight end. They invested in the receivers. You can make an argument Caleb Williams has 2 number 1 receivers. And a really, really good number 2. Big Chris says the Bears O-line is trash. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie. I've been watching their film. They've been giving him time. Did you guys know that Caleb Williams leads the league in sacks when it comes to his offensive line winning their matchup? When the Bears offensive line wins their matchups, did you know Caleb Williams leads the league in sacks in those situations? The Bears offensive line is not bad. It's not bad. They're not like Eagles level. They're not Detroit level. But they're solid. They're okay. They're good enough. They're good enough for a quarterback to do his job relatively well. So my overall point is it don't matter how many weapons you put around somebody. At the end of the day, can they play or can they not play? Do weapons make the job easier for the quarterback? Absolutely. But putting weapons around somebody doesn't just give them talent or give them skill or give them ability. You know, prior to the season, they had the Bears making the playoffs. Do you know prior to the season, people had the Bears having a better record than the Eagles? It's not as simple as just trading for A.J. Brown. It's not as simple as just trading for a Keenan Allen or a DJ Moore. It's not that simple to just draft Rome Odunze. The quarterback has to do his job still. So I say, those who want to discredit Jalen Hurts for playing with A.J. Brown, for having Devontae Smith, who he's developed along with himself. Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith are tied at the hip. They have developed together. They were in the darkness together. That's why I got a ton of respect and love for Devontae Smith. Because he was here when shit wasn't the best. But I just think Jalen Hurts deserves more credit. Let me get to the rest of these super chats, and then I want to bring up some stats on the board. Talk a little bit more about Eagles Commanders. Let's see. My man Green Wingman with the $5 super chat. He says, I feel like Hurts not being an overall number 1 pick has placed a perception in people's minds that he should be a backup incapable of growth, which is nonsense. You want to know what's so crazy, Greeny? I'm willing to bet if Jalen Hurts was drafted in the first round, I don't care what pick, if Jalen Hurts was drafted 30th overall, they wouldn't be questioning him the way they question him. I promise you that. Draft stock, draft status follows you for a long time in this league. And people give you a lot of grace when you drafted in the first round. They give you a ton of patience. But when you're a second-round quarterback and your game is not as flashy as the other guys, they want to find every reason to discredit you. But I'm willing to bet if Jalen Hurts was drafted in the first round, people will sing a different tune about him. I'm willing to bet that. I strongly believe that if he was drafted in the first round, Jalen Hurts, people would sing a whole different tune about him. Whole different tune. West Philly Quan says they're glazing Brock Purdy, and he was a 5th-round pick. Hey, West Philly Quan, what's the difference? Hey, Kurt G says, wasn't Tom Brady a 6th-round pick? What's the difference? What's the difference? Let's see if y'all catch this. What's the difference? What I'm saying is, because I mentioned that if Jalen Hurts wasn't a 2nd-round pick, if he was a 1st-round pick, people would treat him differently. And I'm saying that 1st-round picks get a different level of grace and patience than other quarterbacks do. And then I think they countered saying, hey, wait, wasn't Brock Purdy a 7th? They glaze him. Wasn't Tom Brady a 6th-round pick? They glaze him. And I'm saying, what's the difference between those 3 quarterbacks? What's the difference between Jalen Hurts and those quarterbacks they mentioned? What's the difference? Big Chris says Russ was a 3rd. Good point, Big Chris. Very good point. I will give you that. But I also will say this, though. When people think about Russell Wilson's heyday in Seattle, you know what they talk about first? You know what they say? They say Russ had a defense. He had a running game. They don't really give Russell Wilson the credit he deserved. I feel like Russell Wilson is probably one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks that we've had in this league. I feel like he's one of the most underappreciated quarterbacks. When they talk about Russell Wilson in Seattle, when he was a 3rd-round pick, they don't talk about Russell Wilson in the light they should. They bring up that defense. They bring up having Marshawn Lynch, Doug Baldwin in his prime. Who else did they have over there? I can't even remember. And Russ had to grind for everything. He had to grind. He fought for that starting spot. But even now, even the way they talked about Russell Wilson when he was in Denver, and I'm not going to sit here and act like he was great in Denver, but his second, how many years was he in Denver? 2 seasons in Denver? He was in Denver for 2 years, right? That second season in Denver was significantly better than the first one. He finally put a coach around him, and he actually had a good year in Denver last year. People don't want to talk about that, though. Russell Wilson actually had a pretty decent year in Denver last year, and he's having a good year now. I don't know, man. I don't know. Look, man, I'm just giving y'all my perspective. You ain't got to agree. You could disagree. It's whatever. You know, I'm not trying to. You talking about the? Oh yeah. By the way, y'all, I meant to bring this up too. We're doing a call-in tomorrow. I'm not exactly sure what time. But we're doing a call-in tomorrow. I think I'm gonna do the call-in at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Or I'm sorry, 4 p.m. Eastern time. My bad. We're doing a call-in tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll definitely want to chat with you guys to get your perspective on this upcoming matchup, Eagles Commanders. I can't wait to talk to my man Infamous. He's a Commanders fan, so I can't wait to hear his perspective on this thing. I think Thursday is going to be such a fun game to watch. I think Thursday is arguably matchup of the year. You know, so far the best game of the year has been that Ravens-Bengals game on Thursday night, in my opinion. I feel like that was the best game of the year. That was the most exciting game of the year. That Ravens-Bengals game. Easily. I think this game has potential to rival that. Potential. But I think Thursday is going to be a hell of a game. And honestly, I'm going to give you guys a bold prediction here. I believe whoever wins on Thursday will ultimately win the division. That's what I think. I think whoever wins this game will ultimately win the division. That's what I think. That's what I think. I know that's a big statement. That's a big one. That's a big one. Kurt G says, I don't know, Tone. Still a lot of football left. I agree 100%. I agree. There's a lot of football left. But again, that's why it's a bold prediction. That's why it's a bold prediction, because it's blasphemous. It's robust. It's almost unrealistic. So again, that's where I'm at with it. I believe, and again, it's a bold prediction, right? Bold predictions aren't really meant to come true. They're meant to kind of just spark conversation. But I do believe that whoever wins this game on Thursday will win the division. I believe that's my bold prediction. That's my far-fetched outlook. I'm going to bring something on screen real quick, y'all. I'm going to bring something on screen. Give me 1 second. I want to bring us some stats from the season so we can do a quick quarterback comparison. And I'm not bringing this up to start trouble. I'm not bringing this up to. I'm not doing this so we can argue, even though it'll be fun. But I want to do a quarterback comparison. Jalen Hurts is on the left. Jayden Daniels is on the right. The battle of the Jays. Jay Hurts and Jay Daniels. It's gonna be a fun game. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it's so dope that the two best quarterbacks in the division are brothers. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love seeing these black quarterbacks playing phenomenally. I love it. So I don't want y'all to get me misconstrued. Again, I like Jordan Love. I like CJ Stroud. I like Jayden Daniels. I even, believe it or not, y'all might laugh at me about this. Y'all might laugh and y'all may look at me crazy. But I think Dak Prescott would be so much better outside of Dallas. And I think he would be so much easier to root for. I think Dak Prescott would be so much easier to root for if he didn't play in Dallas. I feel like Eagles fans would actually like Dak if he played for a different team. I think that. Tell me if y'all feel different, though. If Dak played for a different team, I feel like Eagles fans would love Dak. like the Cowboys just carry a stench on them, don't they? The Cowboys just carry a fucking smell. Like it's something on them. When you walk in that building, you just, what the hell is that? Listen, you ever in a building and you like, or you in a room and you like, what the hell is that smell? What is that smell? You can't find it. You can't find it. You're like, yo, what the hell is that smell? You start moving furniture. You start looking under desks. You start talking to your coworkers. You're like, yo, what is that smell? That's what it's like playing for the Cowboys. It's a stench. It's a stench that's just on you. You're like, what the fuck is that? I think Eagles fans will actually have a ton of more respect for Dak Prescott if he played for a different organization. But nonetheless, though, that's not what we're talking about. Jalen Hurts, Jayden Daniels. Let's do a quick quarterback comparison, right? So, and by the way, just to put it in perspective, Jayden Daniels and the Commanders, they're 7-3 on the season. The Eagles are 7-2. So they've played, the Commanders, that is, they've played one extra game than the Eagles. So you're going to notice a slight disparity in maybe attempts, completions, but just keep in mind that there is a game in between these guys. I think the Commanders' bye week is week 14, week 13, something like that. Week 14. Ooh, that's a late one. That's a late one. That's a late bye. But anyway, yeah. So let's infamous. Wait, hold on. Wait, time's out. For real? wait, time's out. Oh yeah, he did get hurt in that game. I totally forgot about that. I totally forgot he got hurt in that Panthers game. Totally forgot about that. Anyway, all right. Let's scroll down. So remember, Jalen Hurts is on the left, Daniels is on the right. So here are their passing stats on the season as of right now. So as you can see, Jalen Hurts has a slightly higher completion percentage. Jayden Daniels has more completions and more attempts. Jayden Daniels has about 150 more yards, 130 more yards, something like that. Jalen Hurts is averaging slightly more per attempt. Jalen Hurts has more passing touchdowns. Jayden Daniels has less interceptions and he's been sacked less. So, and at this point in the season, 5 interceptions is not that bad. At this point in the season. But to have 2 interceptions at this point in the season is Jalen Hurts type shit. Seriously. 2022, Jalen Hurts didn't turn the ball over at all. Rarely did. Jayden Daniels does an amazing job protecting the football. Jayden Daniels does an amazing job passing the football. And also, he does an amazing job. I think Cliff Kingsbury and that offensive staff does an amazing job at doubling down on their identity, making life easy for their quarterback. And please don't take this as a slight anybody. I'm not slighting Jayden Daniels when I say this. I have so much respect for that Commanders coaching staff for doing everything to maximize their rookie's talent in his first year. The Commanders are doing something that the Chicago Bears are failing to do. Bo Nix for the Denver Broncos has way less talent than Caleb Williams. Playing in a, let me not say tougher, but Bo Nix has way less talent than Caleb Williams. And Bo Nix is playing way better than Caleb. Way better. Because of the coaching. They're putting Bo Nix in situations that work for him. They're maximizing their quarterback skill set. Ace Boogie said, yeah, and he's in a tougher division. I would argue that. Now, granted, the Chiefs are just a freak of nature. But I would argue the AFC West and the NFC North. I will argue the NFC North has gravely improved. I mean, you got all these teams are in contention for a playoff spot other than the Bears. The Vikings, the Packers, the Lions. That's a pretty tough division too, and then the Raiders drag down that AFC West. The Raiders are a ball and chain on that division. So I would say Bo Nix and Caleb Williams are in tough divisions. I'm not going to say tougher. But I would say they're both in tough divisions. But again, back to Jayden Daniels. I love what they've done with this kid. You know how easy it is to break a quarterback? We're seeing it happen. Do we see what's going on in Indianapolis with Anthony Richardson? Do we see what's going on in Chicago? Who else? I can't think about it right now. And I'm really happy for Terry McLaurin. He finally has a quarterback. Shout out to Terry McLaurin. Shout out to him. He finally has a quarterback. Finally. I'm so happy that he has a quarterback. It's a shame that he spent so much time having to overcome mediocre quarterback play. Terry is a fucking professional. Right, Ace? Anyway, let's continue down the stats. So, Jalen Hurts on the season completing 69.8% of his passes. Jayden Daniels completing 68.7%. Jayden Daniels has more yards, about 150 more yards, maybe 170 more yards. Hurts is averaging more per attempt. He has more passing touchdowns. Daniels has less interceptions, and he has less sacks. Now, let's scroll down. Keep in mind, Jalen Hurts is on the left. Jayden Daniels is on the right. So now the rushing. Jalen Hurts has 93 rush attempts on the season with 378 yards. Jayden Daniels 85 attempts with 464 yards. Jayden Daniels is averaging over a yard more per attempt. Jayden Daniels, longest run of the season, 46 yards. That was crazy, by the way. I remember that. He has more 20-plus yard runs. Nothing drastic, but more. Touchdowns. Jalen Hurts has 10 rushing touchdowns to Jayden Daniels' 4. So both quarterbacks have been productive relatively for their teams. But when you do the math, Jalen Hurts' 22 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts' 22 touchdowns to Jayden Daniels' 13. I mean, come on, man. I'm not trying to, Jalen Hurts 22 touchdowns on the season to Jayden Daniels' 13. But regardless, though, I think Jayden Daniels has done an amazing job because they still score. They still put up points. They still move the ball. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to crucify Jayden Daniels for not having a similar touchdown amount to Jayden Daniels. Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to criticize Jayden Daniels for not having more or close to Jalen Hurts' touchdown. I'm not going to criticize him for that because what they're doing, they're moving the ball very well. He's passing the ball very well. But when they get in the red zone, they run the ball or whatever it may be, right? Whatever it may be. I'm not going to criticize Jayden Daniels for not having a lot of passing touchdowns. I'm just not. We're just doing a stat comparison. That's all. We're doing a what do you call it? And what is it in boxing? When they give you the tail of the tape. The tail of the tape. That's what we're doing. This is me I'm not trying to discredit anybody in this conversation right now. We're simply doing a tail of the tape. That's all. And this is the games played. So Jalen Hurts has played 9 games. Jayden Daniels has played 10. They both have been really good in fantasy. But again, I think both of these quarterbacks are playing very well. I think both quarterbacks are in situations where their coaching staff is doing an amazing job maximizing their skill sets. I really, really do. I think both of these coaching staffs are doing spectacular jobs maximizing their quarterbacks' talent base. And again, it's so good to see the Commanders have a quarterback because I want competition in my division. Sorry. My brain works a little different. I want the teams in my division to be good because all that's going to do is keep us sharp. You feel me? That's all it's going to do. I want good teams in my division. I want good quarterbacks in my division. That's what I want. Let's move on to another, some more stuff. Again, tail of the tape. Tail of the tape. We're just going over some stats. That's all we're doing, and then we're gonna get out of here. Let me check these super chats real quick. My man Soul on Wax with the $10 super chat. He says sometimes people gotta ask, do you really need the best quarterback in the league, or would you rather build the best overall team in the league? Those two choices are not necessarily synonymous. I agree 100%. It's a tough choice to make because here's the thing. It's harder to find the best quarterback than it is to build a really, really good team. You feel what I'm saying? There's always been anomalies in this league. Tom Brady, an anomaly. Patrick Mahomes, an anomaly. So yeah, man, it's a tough choice at the end of the day. So tough choice, not an easy choice to make. And eventually, the Commanders are going to have to start making tough choices. Eventually, when they start really investing in this roster, and Jayden Daniels gets paid, because he will get paid if he keeps playing the way he's playing. He will get paid. But eventually, the Commanders will start having to make tough decisions about how they build this roster. And then we're going to find out how good they really are. How far their organization has really come. Because it's not easy to do what Howie Roseman has done. It's not easy to do what Howie Roseman has done. To be able to manipulate the cap and continue to keep your team talented and in the mix, investing in the roster, paying your superstars, making sure the cap hits don't kill you. It's not easy doing what Howie Roseman has done. So it's going to be really fascinating to see if the Commanders can keep the upward trajectory. Because it's one thing to draft the quarterback. It's another thing when you got to pay him and you got to build the roster. That's where things are going to get a little interesting. But they have a lot of time to figure that out. In their minds, they're going to spend a lot of time investing in this roster now while he's on a rookie deal. They're going to try to win now. That's why they traded for Marshawn Lattimore. That's why you make that move. Right? And again, the Commanders are an ascending team. They're not perfect. They still have hitches in their game. They still got young guys in skill positions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if the Commanders make a play for a big name next year at wide receiver. Don't be surprised. As a matter of fact, who's going to be a free agent coming up? Who's going to be a free agent upcoming? Let me see something. Who's going to be a free agent at the wide receiver position? Let's see real quick. So, Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Brandon Cooks, Deontay Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Williams, Robert Woods, Marquise Brown, Darius Slay, and KJ Osborne, Nelson Aguilar, Odell Beckham, DJ Chark, Tyler Boyd, Zach. If I'm the Commanders, I'm making a play for a receiver in the offseason. If I'm the Commanders, I'm making a play for a receiver. If I'm the Commanders, I'm going to get another receiver. Diami Brown ain't Diami Brown not cutting it. Diami Brown is not cutting it. Terry McLaurin needs help. If I'm the Commanders, I'm going after T. Higgins. I'm going after T. Higgins if I'm the Commanders. It's Jayden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, and everybody else. Anyway, let me get to these other stats. Again, we're doing tail of the tape. Tail of the tape. So let's bring up the Philadelphia Eagles stats on the season. Thank you for the super chat, so I appreciate it. And also, my man Mac Fripp with the super chat with the $1.99. He says Hurts told Howard to go get AJ. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Green Wingman with another super chat. He says, and also, Hurts continued to improve in his craft while getting his master's degree. It's his cerebral mindset and not his physical attributes that makes Jalen unique. I agree 100%. I mean, his physical attributes are pretty cool, but he's a thinker. Jalen Hurts didn't get here off talent alone. He got here with this. He got here with this. I tell you all the time, he's not the most talented. All right, here are some stats for your Philadelphia Eagles on the season. Offense and defense. So, the Philadelphia Eagles on offense, they're ranked 7th in the league in points per game, 6th in yards per game. Where the Philadelphia Eagles must improve is third down conversion. As of right now, they're middle of the pack. But their red zone scoring. Red zone scoring. 60%. Top 10 in the league. Touchdowns per game. 6th in the league. The Philadelphia Eagles are converting third downs at a 39% clip. That needs to be better. That needs to be better. The Philly defense, opponent points per game, they're ranked 5th, only allowing 17.9 per game. Opponent yards per game, they're ranked 2nd. Opponent points per play, they're ranked 7th. Opponent yards per play, they're ranked 2nd. You know what this means? You know what this means to me? This stat right here. Opponent yards per play. You know what this means to me? That means the Philadelphia Eagles are tackling very well. Tackling very well, very, very well. And the Eagles have a really good red zone defense. Third down defense is middle of the pack, just above middle of the pack, above average. Let's get deeper into the stats. Let's get to the rushing statistics and the passing stats for the Philadelphia Eagles, offense and defense. The Eagles rushing offense, averaging almost 5 yards an attempt. That's 6th in the NFL. They lead the league in rushing attempts per game. They're ranked 2nd in the league in rushing yards per game, and they're 2nd in the league in rushing touchdowns per game. The Eagles have the highest rush play percentage. The Eagles are holding opponents to 4.4 yards per rush attempt, which is 13th in the league. That's not stellar, but it's above average. The Eagles are holding opponents to 100 rushing yards per game. That's 5th in the league. They've made a drastic improvement over the past several weeks in run defense. And the Eagles don't give up rush touchdowns either. As far as the passing, Philadelphia Eagles, as we already saw with the quarterback, the Eagles are top 5 in completion percentage, top 5 in yards per pass or yards per attempt. They're dead last in the league in pass attempts per game. They're 20th in the league in passing yards per game. The Eagles' defense are ranked 4th in the league in opponent completion percentage. And by the way, this didn't just start after the bye. The Philadelphia Eagles defense held Jordan Love to a completion percentage under 60%. The Philadelphia Eagles held Derek Carr to a completion percentage under 60%. Opponent yards per pass, 6 yards, number 1 in the league. Number 1. Opponent pass yards per game, 3rd in the league. All right, now let's get to the commander stats. Okay, now we're gonna break down the Commanders. Make sure you guys keep smashing that like button. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. It means a lot. We got over 200 people in here. We got 133 likes. Come on, y'all. Let's add it up. Let's run it up. Smash that like button, y'all. Let's run it up. Anyway, back to the Commander stats. So, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay. All right. The Commanders, Washington, they're 3rd in the league in points per game. They're averaging 29 points per game. And again, this is without Jayden Daniels throwing a ton of touchdowns. They score. Be it if it's a pass or a run, they're going to score. They know how to put up points. They're also ranked 4th in yards per game. They're ranked 5th in 3rd down conversion, and they have the number 1 4th down offense. They have the number 5 3rd down offense and the number 1 4th down offense. They are very good situationally. I must give credit where credit is due. Washington is really good on 3rd down, and they're really, really good on 4th down. They're very good situationally. Their defense, they're allowing 21.7 points per game. That's 12th in the league. They're allowing 324 yards per game. That's 14th in the league. Their defense isn't good on 3rd down. Opponents are converting 3rd downs at a 42% clip. The Commanders are 23rd in the league in opponent third downs. They're also 17th in the league in opponent fourth downs. And they're 30th in the league in opponent red zone scoring. So not only are the Commanders putting up points, but their defense gives up points. Their red zone defense is not good at all. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Eagles have a top 10 red zone offense. So something's going to give. Something is definitely going to give in this game. Let's continue to move forward. Rushing stats for the Commanders. The Commanders, they're averaging almost 5 yards per attempt. They can run the ball. Part of that is Jayden Daniels, doing his thing as well. But, Austin Eckler and those guys. Yeah. But anyway, they're averaging almost 5 yards per attempt. That's 7th in the league. They run the ball 31 times a game. That's 4th in the league. They're averaging 153 rushing yards per game. That's 4th in the league. They're averaging almost 2 rushing touchdowns per game. That's first in the league. Actually, the Eagles and the Commanders are tied for that. The Eagles and the Commanders are tied at 1.8 rushing touchdowns per game. The Eagles and the Commanders, they're tied for that. So both the Eagles and the Commanders, yeah. Both of these teams have top 5 rushing offenses. Both of them. Both of them have top 5 rushing offenses, if you ask me. Now, on defense, let's see here. The Commanders are allowing opponents to average 4.8 yards a carry. That's 28th in the league. Opponents are averaging 142 yards per game on the ground. That's 28th in the league. The Commanders can't stop the run. They struggle to stop the run. We'll see if that changes, though. We'll see. Again, it's a divisional game. A lot of this stuff goes out of the window. But this is just the tail of the tape. We're just trying to get familiar with the opponent and get familiar with where the Eagles are as well. Let's get to the passing stats now, because we don't care about kicking stats, right? Let's see. Washington passing stats. Washington's pass play percentage is 49.52%. Oh, they kind of remind me of the Philadelphia Eagles. Two teams who lean on their running games, lean on their offensive lines. Go figure. Jayden, the passing stats for the Commanders, completing 69% of their passes, averaging over 8 yards per attempt, which is 6th in the league, 28.8 passes per game. That's 27th in the league, similar to the Eagles. Passing yards per game, 11th in the league. Jayden Daniels, he doesn't throw interceptions. Now, Washington's passing defense. It says here, opponents' pass play percentage, 50%. 4th in the league. Opponent completion percentage, 65.9%. 21st in the league. Not good. Opponent yards per pass. Opponents are averaging 7 yards per attempt on the Commanders. It's not good. Opponent passes per game, 27. Or first in the league with 27 attempts. Teams are throwing the ball on them. Opponent pass yards per game, 182.8. Number 5 in the league. So here's the thing, right? Overall, they do a good job. At keeping quarterbacks from throwing a lot of yards, but it's the attempt. It's per attempt that's a little bit of a problem for them. But if opponents are only averaging 182 per game against the Commanders, that's really, really good. That's really good. Because the Eagles are only allowing opponents to throw the ball for 173. So, yeah, their passing defense isn't the worst because they don't give up that many yards. But also, that could be because teams look at it from the perspective of, we'd rather run on you. So, it all depends. It all depends how you want to look at it. You know, we can all look at stats and make them work in our favor, right? But overall, this is going to be a hell of a matchup, a hell of a game. And I'm excited for it. I can't wait to punch on the Commanders. I really can't. But I know it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be electric. It's a divisional matchup. The Eagles and the Commanders always play each other tough. Always. But regardless, though, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here with y'all. I'm happy to be talking sports with y'all. And it's straight like that. So we're going to get out of here. Make sure you guys smash that like button. And oh, by the way, please, smash that like button. Because it's currency in the YouTube space. It's currency. Without the like button, without you guys supporting and being active, the show can't grow. New people can't find it. So before you get out of here, we got over 220 people in the live stream. We only got 148 likes. Something's not adding up. So make sure you guys smash that like button on the way out. Give me a thumbs up on the way out. Give me a thumbs up. It really helps the content grow. It really helps me. So I really appreciate you guys for locking on the content. I'm really grateful to everyone who was engaged. I'm grateful to all of you guys who are listening on Twitch, listening on Facebook, YouTube, all of you guys who are listening on Apple Podcasts, listening on Spotify. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the show. I really do appreciate you guys. I want to give a shout out to everybody who donated today. I want to give a shout out to No Cut Sports Podcast. Shout out to my man War for donating today. Anthony Chops Crowback for donating today. Green Wingman, Mac Fripp, Soul on Wax. Thank you guys so much for donating today. And some of you guys donated multiple times. And I really, really, really do appreciate that. Special shout out to Wharf and special shout out to Greeny, man. My man Green Wingman. I really do appreciate you guys. It goes a long way with me. And also, I want to give a shout out to you guys who just view, right? Who just watch, who just listen. Shout out to Ace Boogie, S Blunt, Infamous 2K, Feed on Land, the 803 Hitman, Joshua Mullins, Big Chris, Rel Blunt, Dark Chocolate, James Jones, A-Track, Tamara. Who else we got here? Aaron Brett, Observer. Who else we got in the building? I don't want to miss anybody. Cherry Bloom. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Yoshiara. Chaotic Green. Chris the Rakage Bruce. Thank y'all so much for locking on the content. Chan. Thank you. I appreciate you. Blake Blands. Logan Motorsports. Thank you so much. Thank you. Donald Roan. Kurt G. Austin. Cam Macbeth. Tasty Flower. Thank you so much. Mad Bird. San Monku. Thank you. Thank you. Ken Please. Thank you so much. Sweet Chin Music. Will Bentacore. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. The Big Ten Repper, Danny Four. Lathan Mahea. Mukadeen. West Philly Quan. Rel Dance. Looking for Sasuke. Gatekeeper Coley. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Love Hurts. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Rocky123B. Ivan Knopf. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. The Real RMP. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. PD Tatted. Thank you so much. Hoodie J. Thank you so much. Snake Eyes. Thank you. Chris Caraway. Thank you. KGK 0911. Thank you. Casper the Barbarian. Thank you. Easy is his name. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. William H. Miller. I appreciate you. Wayne Grant. Thank you. Juan Rodriguez. Thank you. Red Zone. Thank you. Eagle City 56, thank you. Anthony McCormick, thank you. Fitness Roofer, thank you. Matthew Peters, I appreciate you as well. Alex, thank you so much. Steve Great, thank you. Boda Sakura, thank you. LD, thank you. Ken James, thank you. Tony B, Brandon Moore, Eagle has landed. Thank you. Tyler Brooks, thank you. Maine Fresh, thank you. Really do appreciate you guys. Crawley, thank you so much. Sturdy, thank you. Spa City, appreciate you, my man. Really do appreciate all of y'all. I think I got everybody. Kyle Kokorski, thank you. Antonio Holmes, OG. Tony C, thank you. Marley Coldburr, thank you. Connect the Dots, thank you. Marcus H, thank you. Charlton Harley. Nina Alston, thank you so much. E Money Bentley. Appreciate y'all so much. Chatting with Charlie, thank you. Really do appreciate y'all. All right. We're going to get out of here. Thank you guys for supporting the show. Trenton Wright, thank you for supporting the show. Keisha White, thank you. Luther Winfield, thank you. Appreciate y'all so much. I'm out of here. Smash that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the show. Shout out to my people listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. Appreciate all of y'all. So make sure y'all smash that like button and make sure you are subscribed. Follow me on all those platforms as well. Follow me on Spotify. Follow me on Apple Podcasts. Give me a 5-star rating. I sound like an Uber driver. But I appreciate y'all, man. I've been your humble host, Tone DeShields II. This has been the Philadelphia Eagles edition of Chalk It Up Sports, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the gang.